daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Well, hello, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to Road to World Cup 26 podcast. It is your weekly show and remains, I think we're going to set some kind of record here, it remains the only weekly dedicated regular podcast in the entire world dedicated to World Cup 26. My name is Nick Britten. I'm joined as always, by my esteemed colleague, the man who knows more about football than anybody in this entire planet, even if it's just only in his head, Mr. Ken Davies. Hello, Kenny. How are you?
Good morning. Greetings from the Côte d'Azur in Nice à la France.
Yes,
beautiful day, wonderful sea, just gorgeous. And you're in rainy old autumny England.
Yeah, it's actually quite a nice day here today. It's all right. But yes, probably not nearly as nice as you are either weather-wise or just spiritually, because let's face it, Derby or Nice. It's a bit of a toss-up. Not sure which one I'd rather be in. But yes, you've abandoned Global Sports Podcast Network Towers for the week, haven't you? Enjoying a bit of a spell in the sunshine. So how's it been? How's your week been down there?
I'm off to see Nice versus Nantes this afternoon. I'll be able to give you an update on exactly what the state of midway up Ligue 1 in France can offer football-wise.
Is that how they say it in France?
Ligue 1.
Okay, that's very good. If anybody remembers the British sitcom Hello, Hello from the 1990s. I think that was quite a good audition. Right, okay, we're going to do things slightly differently to how we have been doing them. As you know, if you are a regular listener, and if you are, thank you very much indeed. We normally spend most of our time taking a very, very deep dive into teams that have qualified or teams that we're pretty sure, or indeed pretty certain, when we look into our crystal ball, that are going to qualify. But we're going to take a slight deviation from that this week because there have been so many World Cup games and there's been such an exciting movement of qualifying stuff that we're just going to bring you up to speed with the last 2 weeks of qualifying games and where it leaves us, because we've had more qualifiers. We've had more people getting to the brink of qualification. So we're going to have a quick scoot around the world to bring you really up to speed with exactly where we are on the World Cup 26 qualifying campaign. So that's good. We're going to have, of course, a bit of breaking news as we always do, and everybody's favourite time of the week, Kenny's quiz. We're not ditching that because that is literally everybody's favourite time of the week, apart from Ken.
But because we're not doing a particular country, Nick, literally this could be anything, couldn't it, in the quiz? The question could be global. Anywhere.
Oh, it is. Oh, they are global. Yeah, they are global. Okay. They're not. They have been taken. I normally sort of have a theme for Kenny's quiz every week. This quiz is taken from I think it was official. I was looking around this the other day. Official FIFA quiz stuff. So it's nothing. I mean, some of the questions are really random, like who scored 3 goals in a game for the first time in 1936, stuff like that. I'm not going to get
Harry. It's on tip of my tongue. Harry Jones, wasn't it? Harry Jones.
I actually thought you were going to say Harry Kane because I know how much you don't like him.
No. I can't argue because he scored a goal this week.
This is true. There were 50 questions in this quiz. I've kind of picked the 3 that I think you've got a good chance of getting. So
bless you.
I always like to give you a chance.
Excellent.
But let's kick off as we always do with a bit of breaking news. It's not quite the same when you don't have papers to shuffle in an entertaining way. Have you got your pad? You shuffle your pad. That's good. As long as that's all you're shuffling. Right, okay, today's main bit of news actually concerns a long-running story and a story that we brought you on Road to World Cup 26 podcast. Ooh, it seems like a long time ago.
1 or 2, wasn't it?
It was right early on in the podcast, and we're now on episode 27. So it was about 25 weeks ago that we brought you this story, and it's a great story, and it involves the Equatorial Guinea player Emilio Nsui, who, and Ken did a lot of research into this player, and essentially, to cut Ken's very, very long-winded and rambling story short, he played.
Detailed, I think is the word. Detailed is the word I think you're searching for there, Nick.
I'll stick with rambling, thanks. It turns out that he had played for Equatorial Guinea for years and years and years without actually being eligible. and nobody picks. It's a bit like me running out for England, really, isn't it? And going, oh no, I actually am eligible because I could play
No,
for
you're
England.
in it. No,
Yeah,
it's about you running out for Equatorial Guinea,
yeah,
and no
true.
one's saying, "Has anyone checked
Yeah.
that Nick actually is Equatorial Guinean
Yes.
at any time?"
Yeah.
Ooh, we better do that.
No, we should do this. We should tell you what we should do. We should try and sign up for a team, you and me. You know when George Weah's cousin signed for Southampton. Do you remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe you and I should go and pick a really random nation and go there and
Well,
say,
the lowest one. We
Yeah,
need to go and look at who is 210th and say,
yeah,
you
our
know,
grandparents.
I'm eligible.
Our grandparents were from here. Can we come and play for your football team?
Yeah, in their second division.
Yeah, they'd probably say yes. They'd probably say yes.
Oh, yes, for you.
Yeah, you might just be on a bench forever.
So.
Yeah,
I
forever.
think so. I'm having a manager.
So anyway, it turned out that after a very long-running story, that earlier this year, FIFA said it was comfortably satisfied, to use their words, that Nsui, who so he played for Equatorial Guinea for a long time, even though he'd sort of previously played for Spain, then it was okay. He could play for Equatorial Guinea. Hurrah! So he finally got formal clearance, even though he'd been playing them for years. Anyway, so Equatorial Guinea thought, we've got a good plan here. Our World Cup qualifier campaign isn't going incredibly well, but we did win a couple of games and got some points on the board before this official clearance took place. So they appealed to the Court of Arbitration for Sport to say, well, look, seeing as he's been officially cleared, can we actually have the points from before when he kind of wasn't officially cleared? Anyway, in the last 48 hours, the Court of Arbitration for Sport have come back and said, no, sorry, Equatorial Guinea, you can't. He's only eligible to play, and therefore, we're not going to give you back the points that you won, because they beat Namibia even, and Liberia. I just formed a new country by putting those into one word there. Namibia and Liberia won. I know, it's terrible, isn't it? It's terrible. It's Saturday morning. What can I say? It's been a busy week. So that would have given them 6 points in those two games. But because at the time Nsui was ineligible, they got both those 6 points taken off them and 3-0 wins given to the other team. So they wanted those.
Sounds
They wanted to claw those 6 points back.
to me. He wasn't eligible at the time, so therefore you can't play him. Simple as that. He becomes eligible now, and therefore you're all right.
Kind of feels like Equatorial Guinea were chancing their arm on this, because if the Court of Arbitration for Sport turned around and said, yeah, okay, we'll give you those 6 points back, then that puts them second in the group and a great chance of getting in the playoffs.
It also probably opens a can of worms with other uneligible players throughout the decades. We'd have to play the 1996 World Cup all over again, for example.
Yeah, pretty much so. And how far do you go back? So anyway, it just means they're fifth and they're done for. They won't get in the playoffs. So, but we always like to bring you your Nsui news, because it's a story that's just run.
It's a bit sad. I would have liked to see an Nsui holding up the World Cup trophy after they triumphed 3-0 against Argentina in the final. That would have been a proper circular story, wouldn't it? That would have given us proper
closure. Proper closure. And then the next thing that there would have been announced, a little bit like what's been announced this week in the what's been dubbed the doping games. Have you seen that story, by the way?
Yes.
The Olympic Games, where we're going to hold separate games where you can take as much drugs as you like.
Yeah.
So we can have a World Cup of ineligible players.
He's got to win the high jump, I understand.
Well, he's already halfway there. He just needs to jump it. But yeah, you could have a World Cup of ineligible players. It would be great. Just all these players.
Makes note. Yeah.
It's good for you. Anyway, so that's that. And more ticket news. I bring you ticket news every week, so I won't bother. Although it is worth saying that there has been lots of talk in the mainstream media here in the UK this week about the dynamic pricing of World Cup tickets. But that's a story, Ken and I, that we broke on this podcast quite some time ago, that FIFA were going to do dynamic pricing. So it's good to see we are leading the news.
We're the place to go to for World Cup information, news and analysis.
Yeah, we're definitely leading the World Cup agenda. So breaking news there on that. If you want to get your World Cup news and you want to be in the know, then the place to listen to is us before any any mainstream media, who are way behind the curve on this. Right, okay. Before we get cracking then with our roundup of all the very exciting games, there's been lots going on in the last couple of weeks. Ken, I'm gonna put you to the test because I'm going to ask you to read out an ad that you don't have, so you're going to have to memorize it. You can choose. It can either be Bionic ad or Zencastr ad. Which one do you want to go?
I'm going Zencastr first.
All right,
I haven't got any notes with me. I'm in the south of France. I'm making all this up. But as we know...
No, wait a second. Before you do, it's worth saying that I've got the ads in front of me, but so I could do this, but it's more fun if you do it.
Oh, yeah. I want to do it. As we know at GSPN, and as Thomas Tuchel knows, it pays to get your team selection right. And here at Global Sports Podcast Network, we spent a lot of time getting our team selection right. And the clear winner was Zencastr. Zencastr offers you AI editing. It offers you all kinds of additional functionality, all in one place. So if you've got a story to tell, the place to tell it is with Zencastr. Check out the show notes for details. You'll not regret it.
That's good.
How was that?
That's not bad, actually. Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah. You missed out the words delivery platform when talking about Zencastr. We spend a lot of time talking about delivery platform because that's kind of what they do. But yeah, Zencastr came out the clear winner. 4K video recording from your phone, AI editing that automatically removes ums and ahs. It's super easy to start a podcast. That sounds great. And you got the rest of it right. So well done you. Well done, Zencastr. And good job all round. Let's start then in Conmebol because it's quite an interesting.
Conmebol.
Yeah, quite an interesting couple of days.
Some interesting results, unexpected results going on in Conmebol in the course of the last few weeks.
Yeah, and we just saw in the last few days, Brazil and Argentina both lose on the same night, and I'm wondering when that last happened. And I started doing some research on this. But
It was April 3rd, 1954.
50. I see. I had 52 in my brain.
No, don't be silly.
Yeah.
54, clearly 54, wasn't it? With that 2-1 victory after Ecuador.
Yeah. Oh no, they were playing Equatorial Guinea because Nsui was playing.
That's right. Diving header in the 89th minute. That's right. So Brazil lose and finish 5th in the group, by the way. Yeah. I mean it's been a very mixed set of qualification fixtures for Brazil.
Well, they have of course employed Carlo Ancelotti to be their coach going into the World Cup, and we kind of expected a big upturn in results and upturn in performances since he took over. And they did start by winning games, but losing to Bolivia was not in the script. Now they did their front line wasn't the Brazil front line that we know and love. Yeah, it just wasn't. So there was no Vinicius Junior, there was no Rodrigo, and you had a front three of Luis Enrique, Richarlison, and Samuel Lino, which, you know,
Richarlison's on fire though.
Well, I don't get his narrative, by the way. He had a good game for Tottenham like 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Does that qualify him as being on fire? One good game.
That's Richarlison on fire, though, isn't it? That is Richarlison on fire. That's what you get, and then we'll not hear from him for about a season and a half.
Well, this is it. He scored a couple of goals in the opening game of the season, and then it was like, oh, Richarlison's back, and Thomas Frank at Tottenham was saying, oh yeah, he's my number 9 for this season. Well, he won't be for much longer because, as you say, he'll do it for a couple of games. So that's about it.
Well done to Bolivia. Hats off to Bolivia.
Well, the point is this: it's not just Brazil losing. That's kind of not the story. The story is it was a real shock result. And what it did, it catapulted Bolivia into the playoffs. So this was the last round of Conmebol qualification. And Venezuela were very much in the box seat. And we kind of expect they were a point ahead of Bolivia going into these games. And we expected them to take something off Colombia, which probably would have been fine because we didn't expect Bolivia to beat Brazil. I mean, if you're going to say that both teams were going to probably likely lose that, everybody goes, yeah, fair enough. But it still means Venezuela qualify. As it was,
we were very close to doing a Venezuela episode.
Yeah, but no. To be fair, it was only a playoff place they would have qualified for, and they were beating Colombia. They were beating Colombia 2-1 at half time, and then Luis Suarez came on. Didn't come on, but he's a Colombian striker. He's not the Luis Suarez, and scored a second half hat trick for Colombia. And the game
he's like the Colombian Luis Suarez, isn't it?
Isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why they keep comparing him to him. And then, so second half hat trick. It finished 6-3. Great game, by the way. 6-3 to Colombia. That meant they got 0 points and were leapfrogged by Bolivia. So Bolivia go into the playoffs. Venezuela are left scratching their heads going, how on earth did that all go horribly wrong? And Conmebol is now finished. Conmebol is now finished. We can...
18 games of qualification. That's how to run a qualification process.
Yeah.
A couple of quick points on Conmebol before we move on. So obviously, in the playoff tournament, of which there are 6 teams in the playoff tournament for the FIFA World Cup, there are now 2 confirmed participants of those 6. A third of them are sorted. Bolivia, as you talked about. Who's the other one, Nick?
For Conmebol, we've got Argentina.
No. Who's the other team in the playoff composition for the FIFA's World Cup? There's 2 have been confirmed. This is global. One of them is Bolivia. Who's the second one?
Oh, it's Oceania, isn't it? It's New Caledonia.
Yay! Well done, that man.
Thank you very much.
Making sure you've been paying attention. The other thing, just to note, I think about the Conmebol thing is how well Ecuador have continued to do. Finished second in the competition after beating Argentina. And remember, Ecuador got 3 points at the start of the qualification. So Ecuador looked like a decent team, by the way.
Yes. So that game against Argentina was an interesting one. They were kind of helped along the way by two things, really. Firstly, Nicolas Otamendi got his first red card in 128 games for Argentina when he was sent off after half an hour. So they had to play the good hour with only 10 men. It was a dogzo. My favourite refereeing expression, a dogzo, denial of an obvious goal scoring opportunity when he pulled down Nicolas Otamendi. When he pulled down Enner Valencia as he was going through on goal.
That would be worth watching. Player pulls down himself, and gives away a penalty,
and gets sent off for it.
Yeah, I mean that's the kind of thing that does happen though with VAR.
Yeah. I know. Imagine if he was the penalty taker as well. I mean, it's like nobody can take the penalty. So
he got saved by Otamendi.
But their goal was ridiculously. I don't know if you've seen it. It was a ridiculously soft penalty, and it's a sort of so essentially the ball's in the area. 2 players go up for it. It hits who's the defender? Nicholas Tagliafico's arm. But whilst he's kind of, just jostling for the ball, referee just waves it away and what have you. And then there's a sort of massively long VAR check. So it turns out VAR is rubbish over there that is over here. And it gives a penalty. And you just look at it and go, you'd have 20 penalties a game if you're going to give that. So very soft. Enner Valencia, as a man we've talked about at Ecuador, the mercurial, everlasting veteran, but still playing like a 21-year-old, Enner Valencia, national hero, has only cemented his national hero status by scoring the goal that beat Argentina. So, you're absolutely right. Ecuador are certainly worth a mention.
They are. If you've got £10 each way to put on a team, Ecuador at about 33-1 are as good as anyone.
No, for sure. Yeah, for sure. So Conmebol is done, folks. Qualifying is Argentina, Ecuador, Colombia, Uruguay, Brazil and Paraguay. Into the playoffs, rolling Bolivia. So well done, Conmebol. Good qualifying campaign. Right. We're going to move on to where should we go? Should we go to Africa? Let's go to Africa.
Let's do Africa. The wind is in from Africa.
First of all, congratulations to Tunisia, who have qualified for the World Cup after a 94th minute winner against Equatorial Guinea this week. Not Equatorial Guinea again, I hear you say.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, and Nsui's off to play for somebody else by now.
Tunisia. Tunisia. He once got a postcard from Tunisia, from Tunis. He's seeking qualification as the World Cup now.
Yeah, he scored. So he played the first half for Equatorial Guinea, the second half for Tunisia. Scored the winner in the 94th minute.
Just to see what it was like. Try it out.
Yeah. So they are the second African side to qualify after Morocco, who've absolutely walked their group. So well done to Tunisia for getting over the line. But I think the main story, everybody else is kind of rumbling along as the African qualification goes on. and the teams that you expect to be winning, like Egypt and all that, are winning. I think the story really is two of the continent's big guns are in danger of missing out, and that's Cameroon and Nigeria. And in Group C, we talked about Nigeria before, saying, look, they need to get a shift on. Well, they still haven't kind of really got their foot to the metal. They beat Rwanda, which was fine, but then they couldn't beat South Africa, so they drew 1-1 with South Africa. So that leaves them, I would say, totally out of contention for automatic qualification, because they're with 2 games to go, they're 6 points behind.
6 points behind, third place. They're 44th, by the way, ranked 44th in the world. So Nigeria would expect to qualify in a 48-team World Cup. They're in great danger. I think they are going to struggle. For me, the story of African qualification is Cape Verde. I think it's amazing what they've done. Question for you, Nick. They are obviously a very small nation, Cape Verde. They beat Cameroon, fantastic. They lead their group. By the way, in 2000 they were 182nd in the world, Cape Verde, in the FIFA World Rankings, out of 210, or probably 205 at that time. They've seen amazing growth, Cape Verde, in the last 20 years. Absolutely, hats off to them. So they are, if they qualify for the World Cup, which we do now expect them to do, they will be the second smallest nation by population ever to qualify for the World Cup. Who was the smallest?
Wales?
No, it was a good shout, but not Wales. Do you want a second go?
Is it going to be like It's European?
European.
Well, it can't be San Marino. They've never qualified. It's not going to be Liechtenstein. They've never qualified. It's not going to be Vatican City because they haven't even got a team.
Nick Pope in goal, though.
Is it Luxembourg? They haven't. Their population's small. They've never.
I have to hurry you. It's
Northern
Iceland.
Iceland. Oh, is it really?
Yeah, Iceland's got a smaller population than Cape Verde. I didn't expect that, but they do.
No, I didn't expect that either. But I suppose when you go to Iceland, you do see that, to be fair. And I've been to Iceland, where you go to Reykjavik and go, oh, this is great. And then you drive for 6 hours to somewhere else and never see another human being.
Yeah. Bjork played in goal, to be honest, for Iceland in the World Cup.
Right.
Do you remember
Bjork? That was a good. What was that?
Hats off to Cape Verde. What an amazing story. Can't wait to do our deep dive into Cape Verde. In fact, we've got to get a journalist from Cape Verde on that show.
Yeah. He's also the centre forward. So,
and the manager.
And the manager and the kit boy.
Emilio Nsui, his name is.
Yeah, he'll be playing for them by then. So Nigeria, I think, listen, go back to Nigeria for a moment. The problem with Nigeria is this. They can't realistically finish top now, 6 points behind South Africa, and there's still 2 games to play. So they'd need to win both, and South Africa are going to need to lose both, and that's not going to happen. But the danger is they've only got 11 points so far. And yes, they can finish second, but you need to finish like among the top teams in second place to get a chance to get through to. So everybody in the group stages goes through automatically, don't they? And then it's the sort of, is it the second? It's the 2 second base place. You're the expert on qualification.
Well, there's only one qualification place. There's only one berth for African nations in the FIFA qualification six team tournament. So it's incredibly intense to get through the qualification, even to get on that berth, and then you're going to be facing the likes of Bolivia.
Yeah.
So it's a real tightrope.
They're not going to do it because in their group they're 3 points behind Benin, who are in the second spot already. But the danger is they just don't have enough points on the board. I mean, other teams in second place have got like 15, 16 points on the board already. So they're just not going to get there, are they? I think it's all over for Nigeria. And similarly, Cameroon, it's not as drastic, but they still sort of very much find themselves in danger. They're in second spot, 4 points behind Cape Verde, your new favourite team. And Cape Verde only need one. They just need one win, don't they? Out of the last 2 games, one win will do it.
They don't need that because they beat Cameroon in the last game. Yeah, I reckon a point will do it.
I think a point will do it. Yeah, I think a point will do it. So for Cameroon, they're up for second spot against Libya, who are 1 point behind. They've got 15 points again. Some other teams have got more than that. So they've got Mauritius and Angola to play in the last 2 games, and they've got to finish strong. They've got to win both of those games. or
Yeah, Mauritius aren't great, but I think Angola might be a tough one, and they've got to rely on other teams dropping points. Starting to
yeah.
look dodgy for Cameroon.
I think it is. I think it is. I think Nigeria have got very little chance. Cameroon, I think, have got not much. Not much. So I think the story of African qualification is the almost at the moment it's the teams that are missing out as well as the teams that are going through. But that brings you up to
Indeed.
speed with there. There's still a couple of games to go in October. I think they're playing those next month. So that will do that. Right, before we move on to UEFA, there's been lots going on in UEFA because let's face it, for a lot of those teams, they're just starting the qualification.
It's interesting in a way they do that, isn't it? Because 6 of them have only played 2 games. 6 of the groups have played 5 games, so it's completely messed up.
I'll tell you why. Because it's the groups that have played very few games involve the key teams in those groups played in the Nations League. That's
right.
why they haven't got qualification going. So your Italy's and your France's and your Netherlands and teams like that.
Yeah.
Before we do that, Ken, I'm going to put you to the challenge again to see whether you can now remember the Bioniq ad.
Okay. Your body is unique. Oh, there's more, is there? Your body is unique.
You've got no chance. I'm going to have to play this ad. I'm going to have to play this. You're never going to remember it.
No. And at Bionic, Bionic are a specialist nutrition business that provides unique nutrition because if you're taking just off the shelf supplements, you may be getting too much of the stuff you don't need too little of the nutrients you do need. But with Bionic, because they do it 100% personalized supplements, you get exactly what you need. You need no guessing compared to off the shelf supplements. So if you want nutritional supplements which are specific to yourself,
keep going, mate.
Go to the show notes, check out Bionic, get 40% off your first order with the code GSPN 2025.
Oh, that was so good. That was so good. Well done. You got a couple of the key catchphrases in there. I've got the ad ready to play, but I don't think I need to now. I think you got most of it in there. And also, when I do play the ad, which is you trying to sound sexy, I kind of need a shower after it. So,
no. Me sounding sexy is it's not for this time of the morning, is it? Really?
it's not for
9 o'clock at night with Tom Jones on the stereo, 1967.
Yeah, okay.
Contro in the glass.
I know what you'll be getting up to tonight. In that case, at 9 o'clock, listening to a bit of Tom Jones, a bit of Contro, and listening to yourself read out. It's
not unusual.
That was very good.
Right, come on, let's get to UEFA.
Yeah, UEFA, some cracking games and some super mad score lines in Europe in the last couple of weeks ago, along with some good stories. So we talked last week about Lionel Messi, who'd netted a couple in Argentina's penultimate qualifier. He didn't play in the defeat to Ecuador in the week, but he had scored a couple, and that put him level with Cristiano Ronaldo as the all-time second in the all-time list of qualification goal scorers.
Correct.
Cristiano Ronaldo went and smashed that during the week. So he drew level in this week. He drew level as the joint top scorer in World Cup qualification as Portugal beat Hungary 3-2 in Budapest. He scored from the penalty spot, and he's now level with the Guatemalan great Carlos Ruiz as the leading marksman in World Cup qualifiers with 39 goals. And
do penalties count really? I think, but I know what Ronaldo's like. If there's a penalty, he's grabbing the ball, and even if he's on the bench, he's going to go and grab the ball and take the penalty.
So I mean, look, we haven't got time to discuss this. This might be a whole new topic for a podcast, which is penalties don't count anymore.
They do, but it takes a little bit of the sheen off it for me. That's because
Carlos Ruiz is, he's set the record a while ago, 39 goals, maybe 38 of those are penalties. So he's saying that.
Exactly. I think we need to know how many are Messi's are penalties. I think it's just anyway. Let's move on because you're right. That's a whole new episode.
Yeah, so maybe you get 2 goals if you score from 25 to 30 yards, and 1 goal if you score in the penalty area, and no goals if it's a penalty. Is that what you're saying?
Don't be silly, Nick. Don't be silly.
don't think it's me that needs to worry about that quite now. Right, so look, Portugal's still got 4 qualifying games to play, so he's going to beat that, quite frankly. Result of the entire global qualifying campaign has been this week as Erling Haaland hit 5 and Norway hit 11. They beat Moldova 11-1. Now, Norway, Norway.
Haaland's going to be the top of the qualifying goal scorers by the end of qualification this year, I think.
Yeah, I know, yeah, I know. Well, look, Norway played 5, they've won 5, and they've scored 24 goals.
I know, amazing.
3 against. So,
and you know who that puts in serious jeopardy? Italia.
Well, we're going to come to Italy in just a moment. But yeah, Haaland became the first man to score 5 times in a European World Cup qualifier since who, Ken?
Yeah, exactly. Emilio Nsui for Northern Ireland against Gibraltar.
You're not far wrong. It was Hansi Krankel scored for Austria against Malta in 1977. So extraordinary stuff from Haaland, extraordinary stuff from Norway. We always say, do you know what? It was a real proper throwback.
Who's Hansi Krankel? You mean Krankel?
That's what I said, Krankel.
Krankel. He was a player. Do you remember Krankel?
Not Hans really. Krankel. No, not really.
I do. Fantastic.
That's because you're much older than me.
Fantastic player. Anyway, carry on.
In 1977, I was barely out of nappies, mate. I mean, you were just about retiring, so yeah, I could see why.
I was still in nappies though.
Yeah, just the adult variety. So yeah, it was a bit of a throwback to the old days. Like we had this conversation a couple of weeks ago when I went off to Villa Park to watch England, and you go, right, okay, it's Andorra. You've got to be putting 11 past them, and you go, yeah, that doesn't really happen anymore. It used to happen, but it doesn't really happen anymore. Teams are a little bit more streetwise, or a little bit more this. You don't see these massive results that you used to see. Well, we did. In the week, and Norway scored 11.
We saw a few, didn't we? We saw a few.
Yeah, so well done on them. Republic of Ireland, let's just look across the water, not far from here at all. Republic of Ireland branded the worst result in the Republic of Ireland's history when they lost 2-1 to Armenia away. And the coach, Heimer Hallgrimsson, is now under extreme pressure because Ireland are bottom of the group. They've only scored, to be fair, played 2 games, but that defeat 2-1 to Armenia, I wonder if he's going to lose his job soon because
Republic of Ireland have been going through a very tough time for about 5 years. They really struggled, haven't they, in terms of any qualification, which is really odd because Republic of Ireland used to be a proper
didn't they?
Proper team, didn't they?
Yeah, do you remember like World Cup '94 in USA where Jackie Charlton had them, and they were a good side for quite a long time.
They were a force, and it's all for some reason Irish football is really struggling at the moment.
It's all gone downhill since Richard Keogh stopped playing for them. That's my theory.
Yeah, that'll be it. Yeah, that'll be it.
Right, everybody around the world's going, what's a Richard Keogh? He was a centre half. He was centre half who played for Ken and I's team, Derby. Played for Republic of Ireland a few times, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, bad qualifying start for Republic of Ireland. We talked about a great game, didn't we, a couple of weeks ago, when Italy were due to go to Israel because the Italian Coaches Association had formally called for Israel to be booted out of the World Cup. So this game was always going to have a little bit of needle, and goodness me, did it have a little bit of needle. It finished 5-4. It finished 5-4 to Italy. Even during that game, right? Italy scored two own goals. They came from behind twice. They conceded in the 88th minute, so Israel scored in the 88th minute to make it 4-4. And then Sandro Tonali nicked the winner. He nicked the winner. The Newcastle man nicked the winner in the 92nd minute. And Italy won 5-4. What a game. Imagine the celebrations.
Classic, absolute classic World Cup game.
Yeah, it was quality. It really was. It was one of those madcap games with this kind of undertone. And good for Italy because they haven't really been doing much in international football of late. They need a good qualifying campaign. I wonder if this maybe just give them the catalyst to kick on and qualify.
Well, if they'd drawn that game, they would have been in serious trouble because Norway are running away with that group. And just to let you know, in terms of qualification, just to remind us really in qualification in UEFA, 16 spots for UEFA, so a lot of teams, but it's the top 12, because there are 12 groups, and then 16 teams are playing off for 4 more spaces. So it would have been pretty treacherous for Italy. Already looks like they're going to be in the, if you like, in the secondary part of the competition, trying to get one of those 4 qualification spaces.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a traditionalist. I like to see Italy at World Cups. I do.
Oh yeah,
but they've got a job on their hands. Elsewhere, then in UEFA, the big guns started really with very comfortably. France 2 out of 2, Spain 2 out of 2, no problem whatsoever. Germany, who we've talked about previously, as we're not sure about, well, they've got off to a bit of a stuttering start. They lost 2-0 to Slovakia before recovering with a less than convincing 3-1 win over Northern Ireland. And Northern Ireland had them, I wouldn't say had them on the ropes, because Northern Ireland generally don't have teams on the ropes, but it was an away game for Northern Ireland. It was in Germany, and for quite a period of that game, when it was 1-1, it looked like they were going to get something out of it, and then a couple of late goals, and that was
Germany are pretty unconvincing at the moment at an international level. It'll be interesting to see how qualification continues, but they continue to stutter. And again, they're not the group; they're far from it.
Yeah. So we'll keep an eye on them. And then finally England, who. Well, last week I was bemoaning the fact that I went to Villa Park and it was such a dirge, mate. It was such a dirge. England 2, Andorra 0, but goodness me, it was so boring and it was so frustrating. And England had, 99.99999% possession, and they just had the ball, and it was just backwards, sideways, backwards, sideways, back. It was just terrible. And very interesting to see that come the end of the game, the whole stadium was empty. We stayed till the final whistle, and we were like pretty much the only ones left. And England did do a lap of honour.
Players had gone.
Yeah. Well, they might as well have done, to be honest with you. It was really, really poor.
What a difference a few days makes!
Unbelievable. I mean, it was a fantastic performance against Serbia. We just kind of expected it around.
The complete Thomas Tuchel performance, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And I don't know, I mean, say this time, it was this time last week, wasn't it, the Andorra game? It was this time last week. I was just about to get on a train down to Birmingham. And sort of 3 or 4 days later, they looked really good. England finally put in a performance. In fact, is it too early to say England are back? Is it too early to say that?
I think the difference is because they do still struggle against the low press. And Serbia are a little bit more open. They're playing at home. England could play through them. I think England found it a much more comfortable. I think England under Tuchel are happier when teams come onto them a little bit more. And I think that was what really helped England. But, fantastic performance. Superbly professional performance.
2 things on that. Firstly, Andorra were better than Serbia. I'm not going to lie. They were just better. They were more organised. They were better drilled. They were more disciplined. I thought Serbia were terrible. I really did. I thought they were wide open. They offered nothing going forward.
It's a bit easier though when you've come. If you've come and you essentially put in 9 players in your own penalty area. I mean, Serbia are a little bit more expansive than that.
Yeah, they were. Well, they were, but they didn't threaten Jordan Pickford at all.
Not at all.
So if you're going to be more expansive, then you've got to do something at the top end of the pitch. And if you can't defend,
it just gave England a bit more space to work with in the width areas, the wide areas, and across the.
Well, they did, but I think it's worth noting this point that last Saturday, and I know I made this point on the Daily Premier League podcast, which you and I also do on a daily basis, pretty much. When I say pretty much, it does go out every day, but we've got other.
It's about the Premier League as well, isn't it?
It's on the Premier League, but I did make this point when I did it.
It's a podcast.
It is a podcast. It's called the Daily Premier League Podcast. It goes out every day. It's on the Premier League, and it's a podcast. I'm glad you remember that, Ad, all right? Thanks. So I was talking about this because it wasn't like Andorra were incredibly good defensively. It's just that England did not make any kind of use out of the chances they got. So, for example, Reece James, we played mostly down the right, and Reece James, the fullback, had the ball in crossing opportunities so many times against Andorra, and yet chose just to go back and go back and go back. And I was saying, to prove my football genius here, mate, I was saying to my wife who I was with, the one time he did it one time too many. I said to her, if he does that one more time, I'm literally going to get up and leave. Why doesn't he just sling it in a box, because we've got good attackers. Sling it in the box and see what happens. And within literally 10 seconds, he got the ball at his feet, just swung across it, and Declan Rice headed it in. And I proclaimed to everybody around me how much of a football genius I am.
I bet you were popular. No, to be honest with you, you didn't need to be a footballing Einstein to work out that it's more likely to end up in the back of the net if you throw it into the middle of the against.
Well, that's the point. So it wasn't like Andorra kept us out. Yeah, it wasn't like Andorra really just blocked us out. It was we weren't making the most of our attacking opportunities at all. We could have, and we did create. To be fair, Eze missed a couple. Elliot Anderson, Elliot Anderson, by the way. Elliot Anderson, he made his debut in that game, and in the space of 2 games, on my England team sheet for playing tomorrow, he's in and Jude Bellingham's out. I thought he was terrific. And he knitted that bit of the midfield brilliantly, I thought, in both games. Because you can say, well, anybody can do it against Andorra, but he was great in both games. And he looked like the player we were missing in that position that allowed Declan Rice to just go and play much more forward in a kind of 4-1-4-1, which Tuchel was playing.
Which we prefer.
And we've been looking at
all that. England are 15 points out of a possible 15. Well, all is right in Tuchel Towers.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And what more could you want? So if you're looking at names already on the plane for England, well, you've got probably half a dozen, haven't you? You've got Pickford, you've got Gahey, you've got Rice, you've got Kane in that spine of the team. Obviously, Bellingham will be on the... I don't think Bellingham gets in my team at the moment.
Bellingham's not been right, has he, for a year now, I think. Just a quick one, by the way. I'm going to whistle through this. I think it might be an interesting thing to do, just to give all our listeners a sense of who are the leaders in the 12 UEFA qualification groups. Just give you a sense of who's doing well. Slovakia at the top of A, 6 out of 6. Switzerland at the top of B, 6 out of 6. C's between Denmark and Scotland, so obviously Denmark are winning that. D is France, 6 out of 6. E is Spain, 6 out of 6. F is Portugal, 6 out of 6. Obviously, those teams have only played 2 games. The next 6 qualification groups, they played 5, so it's much further on. G is between Netherlands and Poland. That's a very tight thing, both on 10 points. H is Bosnia and Austria on 12 points each. That's very tight. I, we talked about earlier, Norway running away with it, 15 points out of 15. Italy, some way behind. J, really interesting group. North Macedonia lead it with Belgium and Wales behind them. That's going to be an interesting watch.
That's a good group.
England obviously winning Group K with 15 out of 15. And in Group L, Croatia and Czech Republic both have got 12 points out of 15. So that's a tight one. So there's some really interesting group games to come, I think, in UEFA. The one team I would mention, by the way, who we haven't really talked about, we've just talked about Norway winning 11-1. Sweden are having a really tough start to their campaign. So Sweden, normally a powerhouse of UEFA football, they seem to be struggling at the moment, but it's very early days. I still think they've got. I think they've only played 2 of the games, so long way to go. But UEFA, as always, the pot is boiling nicely with the next lot of games to come in October.
That you're at a little bit of a disadvantage this weekend because you haven't got your pipe, and you only do Kenny's quiz really, really well when you've got. I wouldn't put that in your mouth. Now, when I say, dear listeners, when I say I wouldn't put that in your mouth, I imagine you're thinking all sorts of things right here.
Not watching on video, it's a hairbrush.
Yeah, if you're watching,
it's the same purpose.
If you're watching on video on Spotify video or YouTube, it's just the end of a hairbrush, not the end where you put in your hair. Not that you need a hairbrush, mate. To be honest, but the other end, as his faux pipe. Let's see, what's that you're now smoking? It's like a massive joint. It's a deodorant, right? Okay, good. Let's move on before you put more things in your mouth and end up choking. Can you get the toothbrush and the deodorant in your mouth at the same time? That's what I want to know. Right. Don't look at me like that. You start it. Right, okay. Kenny's quiz this week. Let's rattle on then. General broad World Cup quiz. As I said at the start of the show, I picked these out of 50 possible questions that I read on the World Cup, some of which were just so completely random, you'll never get them. So I've tried to make these at least doable because I know actually you research a lot of history because your job in this podcast is to research the history of teams and clubs and players and
Yes.
all of that kind of stuff. So
Don't
you
set it up. You know I'm getting none out of 3.
well, the first one
Don't
is,
make it worse.
which player across all World Cups has scored the most World Cup goals in history? Which player has scored the most World Cup goals?
Are we talking about in the World Cup finals? Or are we
Yes,
talking
World
through
Cup finals.
qualification?
No, not qualification, because we know that because we talked about it already.
Okay. Okay. So just the World Cup itself. It's a tricky one.
I'll give you a clue if you're struggling.
It's going to be somebody who's played in a lot of them.
It's European.
European. Oh my word! I'm going to say.
You shout out at home if you know the answer to this.
I'm going to say Gerd Müller.
Oh, mate, right country, wrong player.
Who is it?
It's Miroslav Klose.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Germany.
I wouldn't have got that.
Yeah, 16 goals. 16 goals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I never got it, but I was closer.
You're very close. Yeah, well done. Yeah, you're very close with Maradona, which was your first guess. Okay, second question. What was unique? I think you probably stumbled across this in all your research. What was unique about the 1950 World Cup final? Never happened before, never happened since. And actually, to be fair, I should have researched why this was the case, but I don't know the answer.
I will say, I don't know the answer. I'm going to guess. It went to a replay.
No. Have another guess.
It was played between teams from the same confederation.
No. I'm trying to. I'm buying time here because I'm trying to find out kind of why the answer is the answer.
Both teams featured a player who was an amputee.
Right. Okay. I can't find the answer. I'll bring it to you, folks, in next week's show. But
what is the answer?
To be fair, I could just keep getting you to guess more and more random things. The answer was it wasn't decided by a knockout match. It was decided by a final round robin group of games.
Oh, that's
rubbish, isn't it? Yeah, it's the only time it's been done before and since. And I was furiously then, whilst getting you to try and answer this, looking why. I can't find out, but I'll bring you the answer next week. So, or if you know it, do get in touch with us. And right, okay, and this is the easy one. Who was the oldest goal scorer in World Cup history? Who is the oldest goal scorer in World Cup history?
Was it Roger Miller?
It is Roger Miller. Yeah, exactly that. Well done, Roger Miller, Cameroon. He was 42 years old in 1994. So,
I at least didn't blank. By the way, if you want to tell us the answer to 1950 World Cup, why it was played in round robin, send an email to roadtoworldcup26@gmail.com.
Yep, we'd love to hear from you. We normally do. We normally read out your emails. And if you've got an interesting question to ask, we make it our post-bag discussion. So do get in touch. Do let us know what you think of the show. Like us, rate us. Please subscribe. Please bring the numbers, keep the numbers heading in the right direction because they certainly are. And hope you're enjoying it as much as we're enjoying it. Last bit then to finish, just not much going on at CONCACAF, but it's worth bringing you up to speed. We are into the third and final qualifying round to see which teams join UEFA, Canada and Mexico. There's 3 groups here, imaginatively named Group A, Group B and Group C.
I could catch on.
You could catch on, yeah. I don't know what else you're going to do.
By the way, just to let you know on qualification, because it's worth remembering about qualification process, the group winners go through automatically. Obviously, 3 teams from CONCACAF are already there because they're the hosts.
So that's 6.
That's 6. And then the 2 best runners up qualify, if you like, for the playoffs. So there's 2 playoff berths at the international group FIFA thing going to CONCACAF. So the two best runners up. So the 3 winners go through automatically to the final. Currently, they are Suriname, Honduras, and Jamaica. Jamaica have got 6 points out of 6. And that's
Yeah,
our friend Thingy, isn't it? Managing Jamaica.
Yes.
Steve McLaren.
This is Steve McLaren's manager, right? He is, isn't he? Hang on.
Steve McLaren is managing Jamaica. He only got to go because he spoke the language so well.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, Steve McLaren is manager.
Right. Oh,
yeah.
I'd forgotten all about that. Right, they're my new team then. They're definitely my new team because they out of the 3 teams in that group, or sorry, in that qualification stage, they're doing the best because they've won 2 out of 2.
Yeah, so they beat Bermuda 4-0. They beat Trinidad and Tobago 2-0. Next group of fixtures are in October. Steve McLaren has almost got his hands on the trophy.
Yeah, well, whatever trophy it might be. So Honduras. Honduras top. Yeah, but I think they've got 4 points, haven't they? Suriname and Honduras and Jamaica.
I've got 4. Honduras got 4. Jamaica got 6. Jamaica looking good.
Looking good, yeah. So that's good. Well, good luck. What a great way to end the podcast. Reminding ourselves about Steve McLaren. We should get him on. I've got his phone number.
Yeah.
I've got his phone number in my phone thing.
Ring him up.
From
say we're doing a feature because we will be doing a feature on Jamaica very soon. I think because they're going to get there.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great. Oh, I'm going to get in touch with him. And he'll come on. Should we get him on the show?
Yes, get him on the show.
We'll
do Macca's quiz.
Yeah, I'm sure I've got his number from our time at Derby together. I'm going to look that up. If not, I know about 20 people who'll be able to get in touch with him for us. So yeah,
fantastic. Let's get him on.
Okay, good. Well, look, thanks for that. 50 minutes of brilliant bringing you up to speed. Everything that's going up for qualification. You don't now need to spend the 6 hours of research that I've spent and the 15 minutes that Ken spent getting you up to speed with all the qualifications because now you know exactly where we go. Heading into that's good notes on your pad there, mate. Try and get that in your mouth if you will. That'd be good. Stop sucking your hairbrush. And look, you know everything there is to do with qualification. So bang up to speed, some good info, some good entertainment, and some great games in the last couple of weeks. Right, we're back on the normal World Cup to Road to World Cup 26 podcast trail next week. We're going to go to
Colombia.
Africa.
No, going to Colombia.
I thought we're doing Morocco.
No, Colombia.
You've changed your tune because initially we were going to do Morocco.
We're supposed to do Colombia this week, and then you made an absolutely bizarre editorial decision not to do a team this week, just to do a general roundup. Which, in hindsight,
no, to be fair, we had our usual production meeting. We had our usual production meeting that we always have ahead of this podcast. You weren't here because you were in France, so it was me.
I was at the beach.
Yeah. And the production meeting agreed that we were going to do a roundup of qualification. So that was.
But next week is Colombia.
Oh, okay. I thought we were going to do Morocco. Anyway, it doesn't matter. No. Right, Colombia it is then. Colombia it is. Happy days. So we will see you then. Ken, enjoy the rest of your time in France. I will see you on Daily Premier League podcast.
Have you got a prediction for Nice v Nantes?
I think it's going to be tight because they're quite, they're both middle table teams. I can see this
very much so. They've played 3 games, won 1, lost 2, both of them. But it's in Nice.
I think it's in Nice. But is that going to be massive home advantage? I don't think so. I'm going to keep an eye out for it, but I think it'll be a 1-1 draw.
1-1 draw. I'm going 3-1 Nice, but we shall see.
Well, that'd be very Nice for Nice.
I will. I'll have a Nice time.
Etc., etc. And we'll see you. We'll see you next week, folks. Until then, enjoy the rest of your week. Look after each other. Look after yourselves. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.